couldn't ask a presidential nominee that question. They wouldn't allow you to ask that question. Any question you ask a presidential candidate is on a sheet of paper that they're handing you. You're not allowed to ask that question.
Well, you've seen what...
And when you, it's like Gore in Florida, when somebody's trying to ask a question.
John Kerry.
Yeah. Or Kerry it was,
It was a student got tasered by the cops.
Yeah.
I got the videotape of it.
Yeah. And
it ain't funny.
Why aren't they in prison? You know? If it was me, I'd be in prison.
And John Kerry belongs to Skull and Bones.
Yeah,
he also belongs to the Papal New World Order.
Candidate question.
Okay, well,
can't do it.
In the instance when it has happened, we know, we've heard of Joe the Plumber and a few other people. There was a woman recently in the tax protest. Right. We've seen what the press, we've seen what the media does to people.
To speak up.
You're vilified. And I don't appreciate being called a terrorist.
And here's the thing.
And I'm not either.
With you being a businessman, business person, you have to be leery of what you say because if it comes back on your business.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's everybody,
now,
though.
Us as individual
really?
citizens,
and that's what they try
can actually get away with saying something pretty
That's
much.
exactly what they've tried to do to Joe the Plumber.
Exactly.
I mean, they just tried to villainize.
Well, if can I ask you a question? If they're operating this way, operating by the threat of force, or tasering people in black suits, breaking people's doors down, they happen to oppose their New World Order, wouldn't you think that, gee, Michigan needs to separate from a dictatorial, violent-prone government that's not protecting us anymore, but it's attacking us, right? Why is the county sheriff here in Lapeer County getting belt-fed machine guns, tanks, and attack helicopters? I sent you the articles right in the Lapeer County Press.
Tanks?
Tanks, armored personnel carriers with machine guns on them, belt-fed machine guns, ghillie suits.
That's to protect the citizens.
Yeah, no, I was told, listen, I'm serious. I had a prosecuting attorney, I'm not going to tell you who, tell me that it's meant for citizens, civilians.
Just to quell an uprising?
Hear that?
To quell an uprising?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what part of it is, but what it is part of the disarmament process, which the New World Order is demanding that everybody give up their Second Amendment rights. Are you going to give your guns up, Kevin?
No.
Or are you?
Heck no.
Are anybody in this room?
No.
Think about it. Without the Second Amendment, you have no rights. The point is, that's what their plan is. Their plan is to destroy the infrastructure of the United States and force world government down our throats. That is the truth. Question. Now, he's got the county sheriff. I need to say one more thing, and I'll shut up. Okay? One more thing. The county sheriff's also introducing the same thing that on July 2nd of 2008, Obama called for a national civilian security force as well, equipped and trained as our military for the security of this country. We got the county sheriff calling for civilians to act as spies and do police work. They're taking oaths and being trained and even have white stickers on their cars to identify who they are, to spy on their neighbors, and they started in Otter Lake. It's in the newspaper.
Is it in the Lapeer paper?
Lapeer County Press. I got the article. I got the pictures with him giving them the oath.
Just like a public service group?
It's supposedly public service.
I'll be right back. I'm going to talk to this guy real quick because he had a private issue.
Go ahead.
I'll be right back with you guys.
This was in the Lapeer County
Lapeer County Press. If you want the articles, I'll get them for you. No problem. Truth. Now, what happened in Hitler's Germany? You ever heard of the brown shirts? They set up civilians in military garb, give them machine guns. Guess what they started doing? Murdering people and assaulting them. Then they started blaming the Jews for everything. If the Jews were running things, then how come 6 million of them died in Europe? Jews don't run things. That was nothing more than a lie to get people to start killing them. That's what happened in Germany and all throughout Europe. And it's going to happen here. There's 6 million Jews in the North American continent, a lot of them in the United States. What is Bernie Madoff, the guy that they highlighted in the news about the crooked banker? What is he? Does anybody know?
He's a crook.
He's a Jew. He's a Jew. What banks failed in Wall Street? What banks failed? Kuhn and Loeb. What are they?
But you're saying they targeted the Jews?
They targeted Jews to kill off the Jewish bankers economically and set them up for destruction. You got 600 to 800 prison camps set up across the United States to take people like you and I that don't like their New World Order. You want to see photographs of one where they can put 50,000 Michiganders behind barbed wire fence in Grayling. The pictures were taken by a United States Army artillery battery commander and a United States Marine Corps major.
That's a training facility.
Yeah, with machine gun towers all the way around the fencing. Aerial photos and ground photos.
In front of it. I went there.
It's there, isn't it?
I got arrested for
Think I'm kidding? It's the truth.
So what do you think the political will is? I mean, obviously, Representative Daley's like...
The political will, I think they're frightened. They're afraid.
3 months is not...
They're definitely
very long
afraid.
time to be...
Right, and he's taking over from what John Stahl.
Right.
And John Stahl, by the way, has been confronted with the same thing. I talked to Stahl about it to his face in a
Did you do
meeting.
anything about it?
No.
No, because he's a coward.
We were
And
trying
he's
to
a
get,
politician. We don't need
trying to
politicians.
get insurance reform. One of my reasons for supporting John was to try to get insurance reform, small business insurance and automotive insurance. Everything in Michigan is just, insurance rates here are killer for businesses. So we had spoken several occasions on jamming some insurance reform through, and then we found out
It
that
ain't gonna happen.
both aisles of the legislature are pretty much beholden to the insurance companies. And John told me, he said, you know, this is a no-win here. You've got the Democratic aisle, the Republican aisle, both getting campaign contributions from the insurance companies. We can't get anything through.
Right.
So
Well, that should be a
Are you a reporter?
really should
No,
be
I'm
illegal.
actually Representative Daley's intern.
just an
Okay,
and
good.
that's great. That's
Okay,
great.
good.
Business-
Taking notes and
businesses-
everything. so
Have
you
you
can look
heard
it over.
in your circles? Are you hearing this undertow that everybody's speaking about?
Actually, this is the first I've heard of anything taking
Yeah.
over. And I go to Michigan State. So
What about with the student body?
Again, this is the first I've ever heard
Pretty-
of
is it
the
pretty
new
liberal-
world order taking over.
Pretty liberal student
Do they
body?
teach world government at Michigan State?
I'm actually a political science major. So
What are they promoting? Internationalism, right?
Well, actually, I'm only taking like state government, learning how the state functions.
So you're learning nuts and bolts on process.
Right, process of the legislature, how the judicial runs,
Right.
how our state government functions, and how to do that.
Well, I hope it's still around by the time you graduate.
And by the way, all you guys that don't know me, my name's Walt Williams. I'm not running for government. I could care less about government, being anybody's leader. And by the way, I love this country, and I know you're a veteran. Okay, I'm an American. I love this country with all my heart. Okay, I believe in the Constitution, but I'm against losing all that. Okay, just so you make sure you understand where I'm coming from. I want to preserve and protect our families in this state here. Okay, Michigan, right where we are, and do it peacefully through legislation. It has to be done that way. Legislation's the peaceful and the lawful way to do things.
Yeah, get rid of the electoral college. That'll help.
Well, you get rid of it with secession. We're no longer under their control. When you do that, you see, then you don't have that problem anymore. And we can elect our officials directly. And if they don't want to do the job, hit the road. Leave, go back home.
Because, you know, basically, this last go-around with electoral college, it was pretty close. Okay? But then again, 40
We've got another guy here that had a property tax issue. If you guys want to keep on, I'll take him in the other room and go over that if you want to. If you want to keep this
I had a
discussion
question on
going.
the DOT for my own personal.
Okay,
The DOT.
we'll get to you. Just hang in there for a minute.
Yeah,
Unless you want, if
I
you
have
want
some-
input in this, put your word in.
Well, it's interesting, but I don't think I could help. I'm reading a book. The title is "The South Was Right," and it's all
The South
about,
was right.
and it's all about bad government
Mm-hmm.
at that time and since. And there's an outfit in Virginia that sells courses, which are much better than you can get out of college. The details, you know, and they tell how at the election time when Lincoln ran for president, the South couldn't vote for him because he wasn't on the ballot. And Jeff Davis wasn't on the North ballot,
Right.
and so on.
Only problem with it, about what you're saying, before we go any further, I need to respond to what he's saying because there's things that I don't know if this book is covering that's being left out. See, you ever heard of the kitchen cabinet that sat in Quebec? You heard about it? The South Confederacy had a kitchen cabinet, a remote government location where they're being financed and funded in Quebec. Okay? John Wilkes Booth was a member of the Knights of the Golden Circle, secret society, belonged to it. So did John H. Surratt, his mother Mary Surratt, and 3 other guys who were hung, got photographs of them. They were prosecuted for their assistance in the assassination of Lincoln. I got a book written by 2-star General Thomas Harris, who was on the commission that prosecuted them. Okay? Wrote a book identifying who was responsible for Lincoln's murder. Okay? And who these guys were really working for, including letters between Jefferson Davis